our firm is in downtown Minneapolis, and we design hotels, housing, and commercial buildings and office.
And I am Stacy. I'm a chemical engineer and have a background with robotics and automation.
And so we're gonna have 5 minutes for your presentation, and we won't interrupt you with questions. And then at 5 minutes, we'll kind of let you know, and then for the next 10 minutes, we'll kind of go back and forth with you on questions. Okay, we're starting your 5 minutes. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Noah Zark, and this is Channel 21 News in Houston, Texas, and it's raining hard. I'm here with a team of middle schoolers, the Robo Maniacs, who have an idea they want to share with us. So to start, what problems do you find with buildings in our community?
Well, Noah, it's a huge problem. Buildings can flood. Flooding is the most common natural disaster in the United States and the world and costs over $40 billion a year. Just 1 inch of floodwater can do $25,000 in damage to a typical house. And most people don't have insurance to cover it, so they have to take out loans or drain their savings to pay for repairs. Here in Houston, we've had 3 500-year floods in the past 3 years. There's another big storm coming right now. We expect an 80% increase in the strongest hurricanes over the next 80 years. It's a sad thing, but water never lasts. You know why?
Why?
Because it doesn't like dry humor.
So what causes floods anyway?
Well, they can be caused by lots of rain in a short time, too fast to drain off into rivers or storm sewers, so it just washes over entire neighborhoods and cities. Or if a lot of snow melts too quickly, like in those crazy northern states. Or if there's a storm surge, which is when strong winds or a hurricane push water onto the coast. That can cause up to 30-foot waves. That's how Hurricane Dorian destroyed islands in the Bahamas last summer.
Or if a dam or levee or reservoir breaks. Or as cities and suburbs keep expanding, they replace natural ground surfaces with pavement that can't absorb water. So it just runs off, which can make floods worse. And in some countries, poor people build their houses on floodplains, which just puts them at even more risk of losing everything.
So how do people prevent their houses from flooding now?
Well, some people just jack up their house and build a taller foundation underneath, but they can't be sure that'll be higher than any flood. In some places and beaches in hurricane areas, they'll build their houses on big poles like a dock. But that's not great either, because every time they want to go in or out of their house, they have to climb a lot of stairs and carry all their groceries in backpacks. And a few new houses are built on floating platforms that can rise up and down. But that's just for river flooding, because any wave from a big storm would slam it up and down a lot.
So how does your team solve this problem?
We built the house with poles on each of the corners, or anywhere really, and pulleys on each one, so a winch system could lift the house up above the flood. You could even have a hand winch on the inside, maybe decorative, like a pirate ship wheel. And if the house is small enough or light enough, you could even lift it by hand. We found a 2,500-pound hand winch on Amazon, and with a 7-to-1 pulley system, you could lift an 8 to 9-ton building with 3 16-inch steel cables.
Otherwise, you could lift even heavier houses with an electric winch system. We researched different ways of anchoring posts in the ground, and you just build a concrete garage at ground level that would withstand floods. And when a hurricane or storm was coming, you just crank up your house, climb down on a ladder, and drive your cars away.
That's cool. So this is a completely new idea?
Yeah, we didn't find anyone doing this in all our research.
But is it practical? Would it help a house that's already built?
Probably not, but if we built it as part of a prefab house, it would be more cost effective. And prefab houses are much lighter than regular houses, so you could build a bigger house.
Do you know how much it would cost?
Well, the winch, 4 pulleys, 4 24-foot posts, and 500 feet of the steel cable would total $780. It would probably cost more to build the walls a special way, but that's a rough estimate. It wouldn't add very much compared to the total price of the house. Way cheaper than replacing everything or even buying flood insurance.
What do professionals think of your idea?
We talked to a home builder, Mr. Steve Petrie, and he was impressed by how he came up with solutions and quickly discarded the ones that didn't seem workable. We also talked to a city engineer, Mr. Dan Schlender, who said, "I think it's a great idea," and encouraged us to figure out the gear ratios and what material to use on the posts. We also reached out to an organization that does disaster relief, but haven't heard back yet.
So that sums it up. Flooding is a big problem all over the world, and with the Robo Maniacs solution, you can save big money at Menards. I'm kidding. You can have cost-effective homes that are still durable and safe. Thank you for joining us today. This is Channel 21 News. Stay dry.
Oh yes, it's the person. Yay!
Oh, nice job. Great, that was awesome. So, okay, the flooding thing, how did you come to that one problem? Like, how did you analyze all the other problems that you could have looked at?
Well, we started with like revolving doors, trying to make them easier for like elderly use.
Okay.
But then no one really uses them anymore, so like, it wouldn't help that much.
And you're just kind of like throwing ideas on the table, like,
Yeah.
how are you analyzing, okay, should we do that or not?
Or, like, we wanted to see whether it was like a good problem that would actually help people sometimes, and whether it's legitimate or not, and if we can find a new way that hasn't been done yet to solve it, rather than maybe
That's the hard
replicating
part,
the
right?
old idea.
Yeah.
Making
Mhm. Great. Well, I like how you reached out to other people. Did you have, like, what was your connection to the home builder or the engineer? Or did you have a coach that kind of was, I'll reach out to a friend, or one of your parents is a home builder?
Yeah, so his dad is a home builder,
Okay.
and his dad is a city engineer.
Okay.
So they came and talked to us about that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
Sure.
Awesome. Because it's sometimes hard to find those,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
those resources, I should say.
Also, in the research notebook, I think, we have this, which shows where like floodplains are in
Oh,
Blaine,
okay.
which is where Kyle's dad lives, and which helps us like see how floodplains work and why what would run in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
So can you implement your solution in an existing home?
Depending on the size and weight. probably.
Yeah, there would be a lot of things that would have to happen to make it work.
It would cost a lot of money, and it would be a lot of manual labor that would have to be done.
So your costs are more focused on kind of you mentioned prefab homes.
Layered houses.
Yeah.
Layered houses, so that's probably where it's the best fit is for
Yeah,
the implant,
for sure.
and new prefab homes.
Mhm.
And who would you sell this solution to, you think?
Well, you could sell it to like rich people.
Probably people on the coast.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
people who really want
Yeah.
a beach house, but they don't want it to get flooded.
Or on the Mississippi along there, since that can flood a lot in the springtime.
Yep.
Do you sell them to actual people, or do you sell them to
Like
the
a-
home builders,
We,
or someone else?
we could reach out to Samaritan's Purse because they run organizations for disaster relief.
Okay, that's really, okay.
Yeah, and also like, we could sell them to the home builders, or like, we could just sell them to
Bigger
the,
companies.
Yeah,
which we
bigger
could look-
companies.
Which we could find out if we make it to the next tournament.
yeah,
Yeah.
they could make prefab housing, but like with this implemented in it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Disaster relief, right? Relief groups.
So you mentioned you shared, originally, your sources, the city engineer was one of your sources, or was that a person that you just shared with after the fact?
Yeah, were they a person that like gave you input right in the beginning and then you showed it to them again, or would you just present this to them when you were kind of done?
When we had a rough idea of what we wanted, then we showed it to them.
Okay.
And they, yeah.
Kind of critique?
Yeah, and they
Okay,
just
feedback.
questioned different things.
We specified a little more and then came back to them and.
And then did it again, and they're
Yeah.
like, that's better.
And they
Okay, so he did give you feedback on
Mhm.
the several
Yeah.
stages of the process?
Yep.
Okay, anybody else give you feedback, or did you present to anyone else?
Like in terms of even the presentation, like did you do this in front of people and they're like, oh, hey, you should
Not-
make this more clear, or?
Yeah, no, not yet, but we should definitely do that. That'd be
Yeah.
good before the next tournament, yeah.
Yeah, so really just practicing internally and with your coach then?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now, yeah.
Mhm. And your family, have they been involved in the process at all, or showing them what you're doing, minor?
Not a whole lot, but sometimes we talk to them at home about what we're doing.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
But a few of the parents have seen it too.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this your first time doing this? Or have you done this same kind of thing before? I'm just curious, I mean, it's very, it's organized, so I was just curious about the
Is that
research
your-
book,
yeah.
or?
Is this your first time in FLL?
This is his first time in.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
my
Yep.
first time.
But
Okay.
like, we've been doing it for
Couple
years, yeah, like
Okay.
I've been doing it for 5 years, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, 3.
3.
And have you ever worked together before in those 5 years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
one year it was a team of like us,
Mm-hmm.
and then,
one other guy, but this year
Yeah.
Kyle and Charlie are on.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, a lot of this whole process is like teamwork, right? It's compromising, you know, you might have an idea that you're lukewarm on, so yeah, how did that go? Like, did you work well as a team, or how did you do, like, if somebody had an idea, how do you vet, like, the different idea? you
We
know?
look at like how well it was and how legitimate, and we compare it with the others and see which one we could solve better or
Mhm.
make it.
Or compromise in the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had a lot of like brainstorming meetings where we brainstorm ideas and like use deduction to figure out which ones we didn't need and which ones we did need,
Yeah.
which ones were better. Yeah.
Right. And building the model maybe helped even, right? Did that kind of
Yeah.
help like visually, like?
Yeah.
To see it,
It
yeah.
happened a
it
little
could actually-
after.
Yeah,
when I
that was
told
like-
them. It was
We worried about
the last few meetings.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, you said you just share with a few people there. That's not what I just picked up in the question that we asked, but the sharing is like 4 different people. Can you maybe comment on who you shared this with?
So, yeah, we shared it with the Steve Petrie, the home builder, and,
I think the academy is the one we didn't hear much about.
oh yes, that was, yeah, we
Stillwater?
shared it, yep, in Stillwater School, and we didn't share the project, we just like gave them tips on robot, because
Yeah,
we didn't have the
project done yet.
Yeah, done.
Okay, good.
Okay, so that was more of like a source for you then, potentially?
Yep.
Academy was a source for you? And the other, would you say that those were more sources than who you shared that kind of the outcome of?
So you didn't really present back to them, but you're kind of getting information from them in the beginning, right?
Well, yeah, and we gave information to them in their robot and how they can do that.
And for some hints first, we reached out to them, but we just haven't heard back yet,
Okay.
so.
Mhm.
Because you know that they do disaster relief, and are they
Yeah.
local, is that why? Or are they more coastal?
I think they actually do all over the world.
Yeah.
They're pretty widespread.
Okay. Other things you want us to know about your process, or, I don't know, things you've learned, I guess, things that you didn't really know before you started this? Either stats or
Yeah, I mean,
constructability?
I didn't know that there are already people like building their houses on poles and things like that to try to keep their house from
Yeah.
getting flooded, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to some islands in New Jersey for.
Yeah, and actually I've seen that, I did go down to like the panhandle of Florida where it's like
Mhm.
Pensacola and stuff, and you go in there and that is all just like that, really
And then there could be
interesting.
the house just on the ground and then it cranks up.
Yeah,
Just
that's
that
the interesting
that
solution
a
here.
single person can just lift their whole house up.
Mhm.
You can go along the Mississippi River and see that same thing too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't wanna do,
Um,
well, if,
61.
yeah, because most time when there's a flood, there's some sort of power outage, so that's why we wanted to make it manual. so you can
yeah,
also-
exactly, and then the thing that goes along with that is like, okay, when your house cranks up, then what is your access? Is it like a,
Like a
Yeah,
rope
some-
ladder or something.
If there's a garage next to it, you could like climb out.
through there, yeah, it's like that's, okay, then you have your temporary stairs come out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's your next solution, to figure out what is the stair mechanism?
Yeah.
We could even have like a staircase that would like, it's hard to explain, it would be like flat, but then there'd be like different like,
Levels to it, and then it would
well,
like
it would be
unfold.
flat, and then, yeah, when it went up, it would
Yeah.
like pull all the levels up and make it into a staircase.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I really like the presentation, thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks, guys, thanks for the props.
Oh, that's
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.